March 14th, 2024. Steph, will you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance
To the flag
of the United States of America
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Here.
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 Here. So, starting out, we don't have an executive session tonight.
Correct.
So, report of the committee chairman. First of all, I'd like to thank all the parents and the travel kids for coming tonight. We appreciate it. You guys are well behaved. Love it. Just a couple things I want to go over. We had an incident that happened last year last week at the middle school. We don't comment on personal issues. We don't talk about it. It has to do with students. But I just want to say, the kids that the first thing they do is take up their phone and start videotaping it. Really, something needs to be done about that. Because we've got students and they have a right to some privacy. That's really violating their right to privacy. The other thing I'm disappointed about is when adults send the video around to people to show people what happened. It's just wrong, right? These are kids. They deserve privacy. Something happened. We'll get to the bottom of it, and we'll handle it appropriately. So, I see all this stuff on, what's it, Ryan, Face page?
MySpace.
So,
yeah.
MySpace. So I see all this stuff, and, I think what we need to do is, I think we just, let us get the facts first, because I think a lot of what goes out is wrong, right? You see this stuff on Facebook, and it's completely wrong. They take a snippet and turn it into an incident. So, let us do the investigating, let the administration and schools handle it. If you don't like the results after that, absolutely, we can have dialogue with that. So that's important. And now, to the important piece of this is, why is this happening and how we should prevent it, right? What do we need to do as a community? I don't say as a school committee, I don't say as teachers, I don't say as administrators, I say as a community, right? Parents, kids. I mean, when you guys see stuff, it's incumbent upon yourself to do something. I mean, as a community, that's what we should be doing. The things we're looking at now, we're going to do a needs assessment through the whole thing. We're working on things right now. This isn't a Saugus problem. It's a problem throughout the country. But I think the people up here, myself and everyone, we care about Saugus. That's what we care about. We care about the kids, the parents, the teachers, the administrators in this room. That's the important thing to us. And, we'll like to lean into you guys for help, ideas, things like that. We have some meetings coming up at the end of this month we'll let you guys know about. Because, again, if you guys have questions what's happening in the district, ask us. Just don't assume things, because it might not be what you guys are assuming. It's like I said, am I frustrated? Very frustrated. Is everyone up here frustrated? Very frustrated. But I think at the end of the day, we have a great community. We have great people in it that want to do great things. And I think if we can come together and work together, we'll solve these things. And we can be, at the end of the day, we can be that district that people want to come to and people want to talk about. And, well, this happened in Saugus, but this is how they're handling it, and this is how our district should look at it. I mean, we're talking to superintendents. We're talking to other districts who have the same issues, but maybe best in class at handling it, and we will fix that. The other thing I'd like to say, and I'd like to give a shout out, is to our mental health personnel. I had a conversation with them yesterday. They're doing a phenomenal job. They've dealt with over 75 students. They have a bunch of them on repeat calls and stuff. So if anyone out there has concerns with yourself, your friends, if there's something you want, please reach out to them. That's what they're there for. So, and as always, I turn it to anyone on this board who has anything to say.
I think the young fellow back there that was yelling earlier,
Oh,
he kind of summed it up for me. I'm ready to move on.
so moving on to the report of the superintendent.
All right, I got a couple of quick things to mention. One is that at the next meeting, I'm going to run through the Student Opportunity Act plan that we're putting together for a 3-year plan. We have to do that every year with DESE if we make changes. So I'm going to get that to you before the next meeting, and we just have to have that pushed through the school committee before April 1st. And we have the whole plan. We're working it out. It should be finalized probably tomorrow. I'll send you a copy of the plan as soon as I get it, and that way you can look it over. The other bit of business is there's going to be the construction that's going to start for the courtyard out front at the Belmonte. Dr. Lukey has messaged that out. That's going to take place starting next week, and she's mentioned that out, but I wanted to mention that to you as well.
Does she have a plan to communicate to parents?
I believe she already has communicated, and she's going to
Okay.
communicate again with the parents. She's let the staff know, the community know, and I think she's going to send one more email out just to let them know how it's going to work, so.
Okay, thank you.
Now, as far as some of the things that's happened, I do want to congratulate Dr. Lukey for an SEL day that she hosted at the Belmonte on Friday, where they had a lot of stations in the gym, and they had the 4th and 5th graders going to all the stations. It was a great time had by all. Again, a lot of the teachers took time out to plan for it, and the kids really enjoyed it. I was able to attend the spring sports night last night, which was nice to see all the kids gearing up for the spring season. Now that the fall seasons are just ending. And the last bit of, I went to Shadow Day today. I went to the collation at Prince Pizza, where we had 71 students shadow business officials, school officials, just different business executives, and get a chance to see what the careers are like. They were able to do that. That's about 40 years or more that's been happening. So it's a great event and a nice time for the kids, and it was arranged by Miss Norton. So I'll probably bring her in at a later meeting to explain what that process is, and the SBEC did support it and fund the event so that it would happen. So that happened today.
How is the turnout from year over year? It seems to be growing.
71 is bigger than last year. I think it was 50 last year, so it is growing, and Miss Norton does a really nice job of however many kids show interest to try to find a counterpart to match them up with and give the kids a chance to see what a career would be like during the day.
Yeah, no, I'd like to thank those businesses and everyone in town
Absolutely.
who participated in that. That's a great thing.
And the last thing before I get to the travel basketball group that's here tonight, we did have exciting news. The College Board has awarded us the AP Computer Science Female Diversity Award for 2023. We're one of only a couple hundred schools in the country recognized for achieving this in AP Computer Science A. They also specifically acknowledged our teacher, Mr. Derek Serino, for his work on working with the course and having the female success in that program. So we got that award that I can share with you, and I'll share with you the letter. He's doing great things with that. That's a program that has really started to take off.
Excellent.
Awesome.
All right, so now to the group that you see before you. Travel basketball ended its season last weekend, so this is the first week off on that, and they're all about to start other sports if they haven't already done so. We're fortunate enough to have had 6 league champions. 3 teams made it to the playoffs as finalists, made it to the playoff finals, and we had 1 playoff championship team. So what I want to do is I want to recognize them individually by the teams. So I'm going to call them up one team at a time. So the first team that I'm going to call up is the 4th grade boys Division II first place in the division. Is anybody from the 4th grade boys team up? If you guys can come up. And if the coach is here, if you can acknowledge the players, if you want to go to the podium and acknowledge the players.
Mike, see if the microphone's there.
Oh, is there no microphone there? Is it there?
Oh, she's coming up.
Up, Bill, behind you. You got it.
Bill Cadempsey.
Sorry about that.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Appreciate you guys having us here today and to celebrate everybody in travel basketball. So we're going to start off with Gavin Peavy. Next, we have Thomas LeBlanc. And next, we have Jovan Basta. Ben O'Connell. Kyle Girardi. Joey Gormley. Fabio DePaula. Sorry, this is a challenge. Now I'm trying to recall all the last names. Max Lieber. Maddie Benoit. And Amar. Last but not least, I should say. Thank you again. Thank you for having us,
Yeah.
guys. Appreciate you
So if any
celebrating all the
parents
teams.
want to hop up here and grab a quick picture, go ahead.
Any other parents want? Coach, if you want to jump in?
Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Yep. Especially when they were just going to
Take your time.
the next chance would be.
Bill's like the 11th member of the team. Bill, smile.
Thank you. I know how much time you guys put in. Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right, I'll acknowledge one team that I know isn't here because they're at the March Madness happening at the complex right now, but the 5th grade boys tied for first place with Melrose in their division. So the next up is the 6th grade girls that finished tied for first place with Masco. And they were also a Division II finalist, as well as winning their division. Is there a coach here, or does a coach happen to be here, or any one of the players want to announce?
Yeah, why don't one of you guys get up
Yeah.
there and announce? I see a Rogers, she can get up there. Go ahead.
Good. You're good.
Good, do it.
Right up to the podium. She's got the microphone. You got this. Yeah, just introduce the teammates that are here.
Hannah Rogers, Hazel DeFeo, Abigail Johnson, Eliza Tamburella,
Don't forget you.
Don't forget yourself.
and I'm Aubrey DeMonte.
If any parents want to
Go ahead
take
if
a
anyone
picture,
wants to take some pictures.
Any parents going once?
Nice job.
Yeah.
Hey, so they got boosted up, right?
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
We now have 7th grade girls tied for first place with Rockport in the regular season.
Thank you for having us here. First up is Ava Foley. And Georgia. Sophia Braga. Kira Kinda. Sophia G. Rick Foley. And Izzy.
If any parents want to come up and take a photo, you're welcome to.
Georgia. Georgia.
All right,
Coach,
next.
thank you.
Yep. Next up are the 7th grade boys who finished first place in Division II and went on to the finals. Do we have a coach, or does anybody want to try to do the introductions? Okay. We need somebody to do
Ted. There you go.
Well, that coach isn't here. It's Dan Cacciola, who's an alumni. You guys did a great job. Playing in Division II, a step up from last year was huge. You guys made great strides, and you're going to be 8th graders next year, so it's a big year, and we're looking forward to it. If one of you want to come say your names, knock yourselves out.
There we go.
We got Lewis. Dante.
It's like McLovin.
Luca. Dom. Gavin. Salvi. Garrett. And then me.
Anybody wants to come take a picture, you're welcome to. Any parents want to come take a picture?
We should probably look into that.
Next up are the 8th grade Division III girls, which took first place, and they were a Division I finalist.
Coach Hashem. We have Tori Tum, Layla DeMonte, Angelina Dow, Alexa DeModna, Caitlin Hashem, Lindsay O'Brien, Victoria Valentine, and Juliana Valentine.
If anybody wants,
Any parents want to take a picture? Mike, why don't you get up there with your team? Yeah. Yes.
And last up, the grade 8 boys Division III champions.
Got their own T-shirts and everything.
Wow, it's like match madness here. Match madness, madness.
I feel like Ryland's probably like 11th grade by now.
All right, we've got Ryland brand root spot. Miles Davis. Silas Mantis. Edvin Ravkanen. Michael Frondudo. Jaden Lee. Ryan Dupuis. And also Coach John Fury.
Like she's taking control of the whole situation.
She's a photographer on the side. Yeah.
You know, a school nurse that's helping Tara. Yeah. He actually, that's his job. He wears the stuff. He's trying to do
And before we wrap it up, that's all I got for right now, but before we wrap it up, I do want to thank the person that made it all possible, that arranged all the games, the schedules, Sioux Valley. Thank you very much. Thank you, sir.
Mr. Superintendent, I just want to say it's exciting to have the high school coach, Joe Bertrand, down coaching the 8th graders as well. This is what we need more of in this town, is more interaction from the high school down with the youth groups. Maybe that we can start keeping some kids in town with these sports. So, Joe, you're just like your old man. Thank you very much. Appreciate
Thank you,
it.
guys. Joe, thank you. If you guys want, we'll give you a few minutes if you want to take off, unless you want to hear about
The Bills?
School
the
calendar.
Bills and the cap.
I did just want to say one thing to the parents and the coaches. Thank you very much for all the time you put into this. My husband coaches hockey and soccer, and our whole life used to revolve around topics at dinner of like sports. So I know how much you guys put, how much time, and it's greatly, greatly appreciated, because if you guys didn't step up, then the kids wouldn't have any of this. So I really appreciate the time you put into this. It really means a lot.
It is every weekend. It is every weekend. I coach with Joe's dad. It is every weekend, so thank you, guys.
Are we going to take a 5-minute recess?
Yeah, we'll take a 5-minute recess.
Thank you.
reconvene. Report of subcommittees?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
thank you. I'd like to report on the athletic subcommittee. I'm the chairman, Mr. Sereno is the vice chair. We had a athletic subcommittee meeting, and it's ironic that tonight happened the way that it has, Tuesday evening. And topics of the agenda were the chairman's report, a recap of winter and fall and winter season, the update on the spring season, and a discussion about boys lacrosse and boys hockey. This is ironic because most of the meeting that we talked about is exactly what happened tonight here at this meeting. We talked extensively about programs and putting new initiatives at the high school level to start speaking to the middle school students at a very young age to keep them here. We have not done a good job of promoting ourselves, and we have not done a good job of working as hard as the private schools are to keep our kids here. Mr. Bertrand is an absolute example of what everything should be. And, you know, we had this discussion. Mr. Witrich's remarks earlier is exactly what we talked about. We put initiative in so that in the springtime, we are going to have a mandatory meeting in the auditorium of all middle school potential athletes. Invited all the coaches, athletic directors, and administration to talk about what athletics and fine arts look like moving forward as they move on from the middle school to the high school. It's sad that a lot of these students haven't had the opportunity to see the pride and tradition that is really here in this town. Why a lot of us has run. I sit here and I look in this audience at right now. In this room, there's two Saugus High Hall of Famers. There's several coaches. We've all experienced a number of championships over the years, and that's exactly what we talked about at the athletic subcommittee by recruiting and going to talk to these young students to keep them here. We want to get involved the high school athletes who have had great success and who are now moving on to college. We have a senior sitting right here with us that's an amazing example of pride and tradition in Saugus, and she's going to move on and, you know, continue her soccer career because of her great events and experiences here. We need to capture that at that younger level, and that's exactly most of what we talked about. We had a discussion that speared off out of one of these meetings about boys hockey and the collaboration between Saugus Peabody. But we also talked about the lacrosse program, the local lacrosse program, and how we're bringing back lacrosse this year. We'll have a full team. Right now there's 23 athletes and growing, and sign-ups are still open. The reason that we brought up hockey is because we can't just wait for the next season. Things have to start now. And one of the biggest factors is that a number of these students that were just here tonight are in that pool. Our current seventh grade and eighth graders and sixth graders are some of the best athletes that this town has seen in a long time. And it's our job to really do our best to keep them here and give them what they need for support and, you know, want them and their parents to be here and play for Saugus High as much as a lot of people in this room have. You know, Mr. Hashem spent many years on the soccer field and spent many years coaching. Mr. Cogliano is sitting here in the audience. He's a Hall of Famer, was on the football team. We all do this pride and tradition. 12 years, 3 state championships. I was a part of the hockey program and winning state championships and Northeast Conferences after Northeast Conference. We have the students here in our town to keep that tradition going. We just have to do a much better job at keeping them here. And that was a lot of what our discussion was about. Again, we took a vote and put some initiatives forward that are going to start as soon as this spring with meetings for the middle school students at the high school level to talk to them about what their opportunities are at Saugus High for sports and how important they are. We had a spirited discussion about uniforms. That be more to come on that. But we're a pretty active group, and one of the things that we have been focused on behind the scenes is the recruiting of our own students. And we've had many discussions on it. Our first official vote was taken this past Tuesday about the future sports nights and mandatory auditorium meetings for the youngsters and the young potential athletes that we have. So it was a great meeting. There'll be much more to come on all of that, and that's my report of the committee.
I just got one comment, Mr. Hatch. It always blows my mind how it's easier for a private school to come in and tell a kid, hey, you can play baseball or hockey for us, and it's only going to cost your parents $25,000, as opposed to, hey, you can play hockey and baseball here in your hometown for free. You know, to me, it's a no-brainer. I don't know how they sell it to these kids. I don't. But I still feel like that the high school is still like we just moved in and it's not unpacked fully. You know what I mean? Because honestly, you don't really get a feel of tradition when you walk in there right now. You know, we need some more of our memorabilia from the old days, you know? Like you walked in the old gym, you're like, okay, you know, I can feel this because there's banners everywhere. I know we're working on it, but, you know, I think we need to move a little faster on it because it's been, 4 years, 5 years school's been open?
And it's not just the athletics, it's the whole team experience. I mean, I can personally tell you what sports at the high school has done for my daughter, who's, I mean, what it's done for her, not only for the athletics, but the camaraderie and making her feel comfortable around the older classmen, her senior classmen that she's played with has been nothing but role models. And my daughter's a JV player and happy to be a part of the team. The whole experience, everybody should be happy about that. And more students need to experience all that goodness. And then that's what we're working hard at doing, is starting to recruit from within.
Thank you, Mr. Hatch.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, I'll just do a quick update for the Food Service Subcommittee. We met earlier this evening at 5 o'clock. We're reviewing the Whitson's contract for the second year of a 3-year renewal cycle, and the subcommittee voted to recommend to the committee tonight to renew the contract for the next year, for the second of 3 years.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
On that, I'd like to make a motion to accept Whitston's renewal for next year.
Chair seconds. Roll.
Yes.
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 All right, now, Mr. Chairman, I know Mr. Hatch mentioned some role models. Speaking of role models, do you think we can take Jess Bremberg out of order, just so we can get her in and out?
Absolutely. Chair seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Hi, I just want to thank you all for fitting me into your agenda this week. I'm Jess Brumberg. I'm the president of the senior class, and I've been president since our freshman year. And here with me,
My name is Madeline Femino. I'm the vice president.
she's also the president of NHS, but she didn't mention that. So earlier this year, our class, we won Color Day with a clean sweep of every category. Tomorrow, we will be hosting our volleyball tournament, which has become a student favorite in the school. Then earlier today, we finalized our calendar raffle for the month of April. And by next week, we plan to begin selling tickets. For our end-of-year activities, we walk out on May 24th. And
Where can people get tickets?
We'll be selling them through like our class Instagram, and we also have a Facebook page that we'll be selling them through.
Excellent.
We walk out May 24th, and that day we will have the senior breakfast, watch our senior video, and then we're also going to have the Cookie Monster truck after we walk out. Then we have the weekend and the holiday. So Tuesday the 28th is our field day, where we will have fire truck pizza for lunch. Then Wednesday the 29th, we will participate in the elementary walkthrough. And after that, we are planning to go to Sky Zone. And then also that night, we have the awards night. May 30th is our prom at the Black Swan Country Club in Georgetown. Then the 31st is our graduation. So right now, we're just in the middle of finalizing everything through like securing the buses and through the financial side.
So May 31st, huh? That's good.
Yeah. And then,
Quick.
yeah. Is there anything? Okay.
Yeah.
So the biggest issue we're facing right now is our prom buses. So for senior prom, students take coach buses from the school to the prom venue, then back to the school afterwards. And so last year when we booked our venue, we had began budgeting for the typical expense of the coach buses, which is about $1,000 per bus. So for the 4 buses, around $4,000 is what we planned for. This is like what we based our budget off of what the previous class had paid. So for the last 4 years, all of our fundraising has all been working to this point, to senior activities, prom, everything like that. You ask like an underclassman, what are you fundraising for? For our senior activities. Because the goal by our senior year is to just be able to pay the whole thing for our class outright. So nobody has to pay for their prom. Anybody who wants to go can go. Because prom itself, especially like for girls, can get expensive. Like you have to buy prom dress, get your hair done, all that stuff. It can all add up. And we don't want a prom ticket to be another thing, like sort of expense that they have to pay for it. So earlier this school year, we found a bus company and received a quote from them, putting us perfectly with our budget. But so we sent the contract in, and it was not signed. We were then later informed that the bus company needed to have the sexual assault and molestation insurance, which you would think, like, okay, maybe a lot of bus companies have it. But no, we had to change our bus company, and the recommended one for us to use was over double our budget. So the original bus company we received a quote from was $975 per bus, so coming to just under $4,000 for all 4 buses. And then after we were suggested the second company, Local Motors, they quoted us at over $2,000 per bus, so coming to just around $8,500 plus a $750 fee for on-site supervisor, which puts us well over double our budget and really put us in a tough situation financially for prom. Just these buses alone cost way more than our senior week expenses. So my role as class president is to make my class happy, to give them as many activities to bring us together in our final year, and to make sure that our senior year and senior events meet and exceed whatever expectations they had for them. I really don't know if you guys understand how hard my board has been working, and all the other boards at Saugus High, the presidents and advisors, work a lot harder than many schools around us. We do so much more fundraising and put in so much work just for the senior year, for this week, really. But the toughest thing about it is nobody knows where this requirement came from. I've asked, because I want to come here and be like, well, why? Like, do we know why? And nobody can answer my question, so why we have to go through this.
And why now?
And yeah, and why is it now that it's being enforced? So I went through the entire student handbook and also through the school committee protocols. And so the only thing I could find like related to buses in there was that the selected carrier had to be licensed by the Federal Motor Carrier and Safety Administration. Why did it take so late in the school year to be informed about this? We had begun planning this back in like September, October for buses because you have to reserve them quickly or else they will be booked.
So can I just stop you for a second? Let me just ask you a question. So what's the quote now, like around 9,500?
Yeah. Yes. So,
Okay.
yeah, it's over 9,400.
So you're looking at a shortfall of 4,500,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I think 5,400.
54.
It was
I'm sorry.
4,000.
What? 95, 4,000?
I have another paper here. It has like the
55.
original. Yeah.
Okay.
Does that include that insurance, Jess?
The $9,000 one, yeah, that includes the insurance.
So all the bus companies are asking for that?
No, it's the town of like, so the town has told us that we need to use a bus company that has this insurance. And apparently it's not a lot of bus companies have this because this is the same issue that they ran into for the New York trip and for Ski Club, where the original like bus that they used last year or had used like in the past, like before COVID, was like shot down and they had to use the local motors company.
So let me just ask, so this came from the town?
Yes.
So,
On that paper, that's our entire, like everything like
Yeah.
priced out for what we're spending, but at the
Yeah.
top, that's the comparison of the prices.
so do you know who from the town? I'm just,
I think it's Paula Andrews from like the financial.
no, she doesn't work for the town.
No?
She works for us.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I don't understand why the cost gets passed on to the kids, is, I guess, my problem with it. You know what I mean? Like,
No, I understand it, and it has been known. What's happened is the insurance, the company that insures the town that we have to go through will not sign off on the insurance if it doesn't have that clause in it.
So let me just, I guess, well, you wouldn't know, so
No.
this is a town question.
It went to the town, and we were told that our insurance carrier requires this clause for coach buses.
this is new?
So the ski club, the trip that we
And
had
we also
that?
went on a
Yes.
New York trip this
Yes.
winter that, like, will probably never be able to be run again if it's going to have to be run through this company because it was way too expensive. Like, Miss Lucier, the gym teacher at the high school, runs the New York trip that it used to be every year before COVID, and this was the first year we were able to do it before or after COVID. And we went on it. It's so fun. Like, it's something that every kid should have the opportunity to do. And she probably will never be able to run it again because of the prices of the buses.
So was that the St. John's trip?
Yes.
That's an awesome trip.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and you talk about community and keeping
Yeah.
people in Saugus. That's something that is talked about. I remember when I was in 8th grade, how like the seniors on the basketball team, they were away for a couple of days at this like conference. I was like, I would love to do that one day. And it's kind of like, that's like the sense of community that's we're trying to like, keep in Saugus and build in Saugus.
So my question is, I guess we'd have to look in, is it a state law that you need that? Is it a,
One of our coworkers, she's the treasurer for Wakefield senior class.
Yeah.
So I called her and I asked her
Okay.
about it, and she said they ran into nothing similar to this.
okay.
I've never even heard of that before. It just
No.
kind of blows my mind, to be honest with you.
Because it would have to be something new if this wasn't what was done last year.
Molestation insurance?
Which is causing it to be almost double
Jesus.
what it
Yeah,
used to
no,
be.
no,
More than
no,
double.
no.
And you
no.
guys have
We don't
chaperones on the
have-
bus, correct?
Like, we do not have the budget or the money.
You guys have chaperones on the bus?
Yes.
Yeah, there's always a chaperone on the bus, and by the time of prom, there's only 32 seniors who won't be 18. So that's like 82% of our class will be 18.
So what I think we can do is first to look into why, get an answer on why, and then, because here's the problem that I'm looking at right now. It's probably too late to get any other bus company.
Yeah, we actually tried. We tried to, what was the other one we tried to go through?
The MBT Worldwide. That's the original one. We actually already lost Local Motion. They're already booked for prom. So we're really like, and it's even like financially, even if like we are able to financially support this, it's going through the whole ringer right now in March, when we should be worrying about, for us personally, about scholarships, about enjoying the last couple of months we have at Saugus High.
Absolutely.
But we're going through the ringer on buses.
When were you notified of this?
I don't know the specific date. It was a couple weeks ago.
Around, yeah.
Yeah, a couple
Last
weeks
couple
ago,
weeks.
but we've been kind of like, we've known that we've had a hard time getting the contract signed by the town, but like for a while, but we hadn't really been able to like give in like, oh, go through this company instead.
Sure.
Can you give us?
Mr. Chairman?
Yeah, go ahead.
At this point, do you have buses in place for the
No.
prom?
No.
So you have nothing right
No.
now?
No, there's our advisor, she's trying to find another company that has this insurance just so we have a way of getting to prom. Because
And you need 4 buses.
yes, and we cannot. It's a rule that students can't drive themselves to a school event, which is like that's just has been a rule for a long time. And also asking if we have parents drive the students, asking them to drive all the way to Georgetown, like. We can't do that. It's too far to have even a parent drive somebody.
No, safest thing is everybody on the bus.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, no.
Safest
And
most
it's the
possible
easiest way. We get there.
Absolutely.
They get off the bus.
Yeah.
We go back to
Chair?
the school. Like,
Yeah,
it's
go
just-
ahead.
We did have the parents drop them off in the COVID because we weren't allowed to.
Right.
Yeah, no.
So, no,
Yeah.
that was the rationale behind it. It was one, but they couldn't even be, it was just one of those things.
And it's the safest way to make sure everybody's accounted for. Because attendance is taken before going on the bus, getting on the bus, check people in. It's
Yeah, no, we'll figure out the difference for you. We'll figure that out for your class. But I think it's important that we get buses for you guys first.
Yeah.
I think, Mr. Chair, sorry.
No,
Sorry. Go ahead.
okay.
I believe the principal submitted to the insurance person something from a bus company that, just to make sure that it has the right insurance. So I don't know whether he found a bus company or not, but I
I
got
think
that
that
through
was
today.
Miss DiCristoforo. She
Yeah.
had been searching.
Okay, so there was a bus company, like certification thing that I just saw go through from the principal to the insurance.
Okay, so either way, the cost comes back to the kids, which
Yeah.
is,
That's
kind of
ridiculous.
asinine.
I also just want to add that if it's done for our grade, then it needs to be done for the classes below us as well.
Absolutely.
Especially the closer classes, like she's the advisor of the junior class, Miss Pyers, and like they haven't been budgeting for $9,000 buses either. So like they can't make up $5,000 for next year. So
Yeah, I think we got to find out, first thing is we got to find out why this is coming to you guys now. Secondly, is this something that's mandated? Do we need it? And if so, why do we need it? And just to go back from the beginning and say, hey, the bus is $4,000 and this molestation insurance jacks it up to that, which to me is ludicrous to begin with, right?
Never heard of thing.
So I think we need to do some due diligence and look into it.
Absolutely.
Which we
Mr.
will.
Chairman?
Yeah.
Just to recap, because this is so important. You put your budget together with the past costs of the coach buses.
Yes.
You guys worked your fundraising to meet that need. If this insurance issue wasn't there, did you meet your need?
Yes, we would be able to charge at the most $25 for prom tickets.
and if we have to pay the money for the buses, it would be like 60. So like
Okay,
maybe even more than that.
thank you.
Yeah. So let's,
When does this have to be signed by, this contract, in order to hold these buses?
As soon as possible, because in a week we lost our bus company.
In a
So it was, so last week at this time, we still had the local motion, the $9,000 one. And after like a week goes by, our advisor calls them again, and they were already booked. So, and especially around this time, everybody's looking for prom. A lot of senior proms are around
Mr. Chair.
that last week
Go
of
ahead.
May.
I think if they can get a quote and it meets the specifications, I think they should go with it.
100%.
correct.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
go with it
Yeah.
and we'll,
Book it and we'll figure out the rest, you
yeah,
know?
yeah, just, yeah.
That's,
Yeah, we're not gonna let you guys
We'll figure it out.
walk to the
Yeah.
prom. No, absolutely, yeah. We're gonna figure it out, believe me.
I don't want Ava's dad driving her either. Well, thank you for the updates and everything. And Jessica, let's connect beginning of next week.
Sounds good.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Again.
Thank you. Yep.
Yeah. Jesus. We are back to old business, right?
Did it just get like freezing up here?
I just kicked on.
I feel like I have a vent like that. So
We're back to old, oh,
Yeah,
wait till he's done.
Um,
Why is
This is for the calendar.
I know, the air conditioning, why is the air conditioning?
It just got freezing in the last like 5 minutes, right? Yeah. It's never.
He's doing it on
Can get some refrigeration insurance.
I know.
Because I can't stand it.
Yeah, that blows my mind. Nicola said we need refrigeration insurance now. Yeah. Which one you want? It's a good one. Doesn't put them too late.
Oh, I know. It happens. Okay. Moving on to old business, voting on the calendar. So we've had these calendars for a while, and I think one of the points is that we were looking at is bringing back the parent-teacher. So we held off on it, the parent-teacher's coming back. And so now we have the 3 calendars in front of us. So I don't know if you guys had a chance to look at them.
Yep. Mr. Chair, I can just give you the Reader's Digest
Yeah.
version of what each one is.
Yeah.
I probably just dated myself. The first option is the option 1, and I know they look exactly the same. Option 1, we come back before Labor Day, okay? So we come back for 3 days before Labor Day as students, and the faculty would come back on the Monday before Labor Day for PD. The winter break, everybody would go back on January the 2nd, and the last day of school that would be scheduled, if there were no snow days, would be June the 12th. So that's calendar 1. Calendar 2, we start after Labor Day. The first, the Tuesday, which was an election day, would be the PD. The winter break, we'd go back January the 2nd, and that would end on June 17th. And option 3 was before Labor Day, we go back, same as option 1. The winter break would be the full 2 weeks. So it would be, we would not come back on January the 2nd, but come back on January the 6th. Okay? And then the last day for that would be the 16th of June. Those are the differences.
Oh, well, let me ask the seniors. What'd you guys have back there? 1, 2, or 3? Now, 3 has 2 weeks vacation for Christmas. 3? I mean, it affects them.
You like 3?
It affects them more than anybody, so. All right, well, Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion to accept calendar 3 as the 2024-2025 school year calendar,
Anyone?
I'll second.
just for the purpose of discussion anyway.
It gets second. Can we do a roll?
Yes.
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 Mr. Chair, just for clarification, so we're going to start before Labor Day?
Correct.
And it's the 2 weeks winter break?
Yep.
Perfect.
Make sure they come back from winter break.
I'll make sure that, I'll check every other date and make sure it's finalized. Thank you.
All right, awesome.
So we've got the, next is approval of bills dated March 14th, 2024, in the amount of $250,252.12.
Motion to approve, Mr. Chair?
Chair seconds. Can we do a roll?
Yes.
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 Yes. Next, we have approval of school committee minutes dated February 15th, 2024, open session.
Motion to approve?
Chair seconds, all in favor?
Aye.
Approval of school committee meeting minutes dated February 15th, 2024, executive session.
Motion to approve?
Chair seconds, all in favor?
Aye.
Next is school choice. So every year we have to vote on school choice. I think it has to be done before April 1st.
I'm not sure if it's April 1st, but it's in this timeframe that we
Yep.
do. So traditionally, you vote
vote
no
no.
on school choice.
So all it does is lets kids go out of district and we pay for it, so.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, I know, I think every year we struggle with the language on this because I'll make a motion that Saugus remains a non-school choice district, and then we vote yes to approve
Correct.
that. Okay, so I'll make that motion.
You messed it up last time, you sure?
No, I messed it up the time before that. Last time I did fine.
Did it last year.
Yeah.
Chair seconds, do a roll?
Yes.
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 Hopefully I did that right.
So I think we took that out of order, so
Yeah,
next,
She's already.
next is public comment. As always, public comment needs to be, it has to be on the agenda for public comment. So if we have any public comment on what we discussed on the agenda. Yep. Yep. As long as it's on the agenda.
What's that?
As long as it's on the agenda.
You were talking about the topics.
Doesn't matter if I talk about it, it's got to be on the agenda.
I just want to clarify one point that you made then. I got a video sent to me from the Blessed Sacrament Church, and I forwarded it to 5 people. You 5. You made
Well,
reference.
it wasn't you I was talking about, so.
Okay, I
just
just
so
want to
we-
make sure that
It wasn't you.
everyone knows I sent it to 5 people and 5 people.
It wasn't you.
Okay.
It's just so,
Just want to say one other thing while I'm here, not on the, you can refuse if you want.
no, go ahead.
But Sabrina Ryan is here. Her daughter is the girl in the video. She wanted to address the school committee. If you want to let her speak, that would be great. I would appreciate that. Again, Anthony Cogliano, 310 Lincoln Ave, Saugus.
Thank you, Mr. Cogliano. Yeah, that's it, it's a public comment.
Yeah, go ahead. Just, could you do us a favor?
Yeah.
Just don't mention any names.
No.
Okay.
No. I'm a teacher too. I'm a preschool teacher.
In Saugus?
In Melrose. I did do preschool at the Y for a little while.
Just your name and your address.
My name's Sabrina Ryan. Thank you, Chairman Serino and Superintendent Hashem. I'm sorry, I have a bad cold, so I have hardly a voice to speak at the moment. So sorry for my hoarseness. My child was the one that was beaten up at the high school, and when I went to the high school, my daughter was hysterically calling me. So I didn't get a call from the school. I got a call from my child, and she had told me she had been beaten up and she needed me to come to the school. She needed my help. She didn't feel safe. So I said, well, you should be in class right now. I says, let me call the school. I hung up. I automatically called, and I got Miss Franks. And she says, it is true, your daughter was beaten up. I says, well, I have the flu, but I'm coming. I will be there. My boyfriend came with me. And the other child had already been taken out of the premises. I didn't get to speak to any parents. They couldn't go into a lot of details. They had just explained that she had been beaten up. She was petrified. She was completely traumatized. So when we were getting ready to leave the school, we got that disgusting video sent to us. I was going to take her to the emergency room because she was in a lot of pain. Her hair had been ripped out. She had cuts and abrasions to her scalp, to her legs. She had been kicked in the back. She had been kicked in the stomach. They videotaped it. They exploited my daughter. It was horrible. I saw the video. She was petrified. And that was the intent. The intent was to put fear in her, to make her feel not safe at school, to humiliate her. And we need to, and I agree with what you said. It is a culture. And it is a culture that we need to do in a community to stop that. I understand, like, I'm a single mother too, and I gave my daughter a phone. And that was one of the examples why, because I wanted her to feel safe if she needed help and she could call me. But at the same time, it's not a good idea to have them in the classrooms, because when things like this happen, when a child is beaten up, and my daughter didn't deserve that fight. She did nothing. She was just participating in gym class, and the girl had been bullying her right along.
We did do an investigation, so I just like, the other party's not here, so can we just?
Yeah. So with my child, my thing is, I think they need more eyes in the classrooms. I don't know how the ratios work in elementary and high school. I know in preschool. I have a classroom of 20 children. There's another co-teacher with me. There's also an assistant helping me. So I know when they were combined, I know those gym teachers helped her. My daughter did say that. So I don't want that teacher solely held accountable for that. He did try to pull that other child off my child. But in the meantime, they were able to still videotape it. So why weren't the phones confiscated? Why? I mean, I would think they would either have to leave their phones in their lockers or turn them in. Usually they turn the cell phones into class. But I did go to the police. I did have my daughter checked out. She did have a mild concussion. And I just want to know how to keep her safe. They're 13. I can't press charges. They're not of a legal age. I did talk to Chief Riccadelli about it, and they did do a safety plan for her, but she shouldn't be afraid to go to the bathroom. She shouldn't be afraid to go to lunch. This child is still in that building, and she could still do it to another child. And it was done to my child, and my child doesn't feel safe. Because we can't press charges, she says, well, Mom, how can I go to school and be safe? What if this girl does this to me again? My daughter is a very quiet, very kind, gentle, loving child. She did not deserve that. No child deserves that. So I guess, is there anything they could do with security, with more help in the school as far as ratios, with assistants helping and the teachers in the classroom, something?
Yeah, no, Mike, do you want to address that we're working on right now?
Yeah, we are working on getting more staff into classrooms, and I am sorry that it happened to your daughter. I have 3 daughters of my own, so I fully understand. And I'm glad that
I went to the police to show that video. It got around, and it was private. It is my daughter, and I do want to protect her. And I reached out because I needed help, and I didn't know how to approach this. And my number one job is, I'm her mother. I need to keep her safe, but I feel also the school needs to keep her safe, and I feel like I should have been contacted. I just think they need better protocols. When children are in my care and they're hurt, I have to reach out to my director and to their parents. And if they do need medical care, like they questioned me, well, why did you get her medical care? I was entitled to that. My child was viciously assaulted and attacked, and I needed to make sure she was okay.
There's both sides, so please be careful what you say, because there's another student involved in this.
Yes, well, I'm just telling you from my side of the story.
Okay.
I know there are 3 sides to the story,
Yeah.
but I'm just telling you my side.
Yeah, and I think that's what we're working on when we talk about the policies to go and look at what are our policies for cell phones, right? Because they've changed several times.
Yeah, and
so what makes sense for us as far as cell phones, right? Because I understand what you're saying, take the cell phones away. We're going to have 100 parents to say, don't take the cell phones away. So there has to be something that we can do to prevent this.
Mr. Serino, they're not supposed to have their cell phones out in classrooms.
And especially a gym. They tried.
With them.
I'm not saying they do or don't. I'm just.
Yeah, and that's what we need to look into.
They should be in their lockers. I understand.
Well,
'cause, like I said.
Yeah, I know. That was the first thing I thought of, was the cell phone issue, and I'm looking into it right now. I know that people are never going to want the cell phones away for the day.
I don't think parents get the significance that this is a culture, and that kids, it is happening around the country, and they posted it on Snapchat. They sent it as a text.
Yeah.
It did embarrass her. It did hurt her. It hurt me as her mother to witness that, to look at someone assaulting my kid like that, and I wasn't there to protect her. And I would have. By all means, I would have protected my daughter.
And we can put these policies in place, but we need to make sure that they're being followed, because a lot of policies just go by the wayside.
Yeah.
But we also need to make sure that we're protecting the kids and also the teachers as well.
Exactly.
Because the teachers
Because
are not
breaking
not
up that
trained-
fight, they could have been hurt.
Right.
They could have been hurt.
And I'm hearing more and more of, so we are thoroughly looking into this. Believe me, we are. I've been on it since I heard about it.
No,
And
and,
I'm so
and,
sorry.
and you have, and thank you. I guess tonight I'm just coming to make awareness that I think as a community we need to do more about this. It needs to be discussed, and parents have to understand this, that the cell phone culture, it's toxic, and it can happen to anybody's child. And how would they feel if it was their child? They wouldn't like it. It's evil. It's an act of violence. It's cruel. It's not something for school. Kids have to feel safe. Their safety needs to come first.
That's our first job. That's literally our first job.
Police weren't called to the school, and I get that it's internal, but when there's a video like that taken, they should be involved, especially if they're of a legal juvenile age that charges can be pressed. I wanted to press charges, and I couldn't because of the legal age at the moment. If it was, I would have pressed charges on everybody involved.
Well, thank you. We appreciate it, and we're sorry. And we're going to have a policy subcommittee meeting. We'd love to have you there.
I would definitely be there.
We'll make sure she knows when it is.
Thank you. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Yep.
you.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
Hi, Eric Bremberg, 7 Breakheart Road. Just first want to say thank you, Mr. Hatch, for your update on the subcommittee, the sports subcommittee. I think it's really important. You talk about celebrating the legacy of the school. My daughter and her friends here tonight, they're graduating and will miss out on the banners that were mentioned earlier. That goes a long way. My son's a sophomore right now. I hope the banners
He'll have
are
the
in
banners.
place before he graduates. And speaking of celebrating, this year there are currently 4 student athletes committed to play sports at the NCAA level, which I think is a huge accomplishment for these student athletes. 3 of them, Division II, 1 D3. So it's a great, great accomplishment. The NCAA has guidelines in place for when these students can commit to these schools. I believe 5 of these days, called National Letter of Intent Days, have already passed. These are days where the school and the students can celebrate the accomplishments. There's photo shoots, they celebrate it. I hope the sports subcommittee has that on their agenda. I think it'd be really nice to see that across the community to celebrate these student athletes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you. Good.
No, we did that.
Do we know if there's any plan in place for that?
I don't know what the date is, but yes, I know they're planning on having a signing day. I know they did last year, and what they do is they take the backdrop that we have, they do it in the auditorium, they invite the family, they invite the friends in the building that want to come down, and they do, I don't know if it's a mock signing or an actual signing, so because it happened with my niece as well. And they do that. And I do want to say, and I don't think it gets recognized enough, and I really respect it. Saying it's only signing to Division II or Division III is like saying you're one of the few kids who go on to play at the next level. I mean, it is a huge thing.
Do you know the
I don't
percentage?
care what the division is.
The percentage
It's-
of kids that play at the next level, you know the percent?
No.
7%.
Yeah, and it's impressive if they
7%.
play at yeah,
Really?
right. And I'm impressed if they play at any level. So I like I said, I know everybody. I know everybody wants to say Division One and Division One and Division One, but there are some better athletes in some of the Division Two and Three schools just because they want. And we've sent athletes to Division Two and Division Three schools because at the Division Two and Three schools they can play more than one sport, and the Division One they kind of. That's your whole. That's a job, and I know that Division One athletes. It is a job. So Division Two and Three, it's nothing to. I mean, it's an extremely high accomplishment. So I do want to congratulate everybody that's had that, and I do want them recognized.
You think they're going to plan it before 5/24, the walkout day?
Yes.
I hope so.
They better.
Yes.
No, I think it's coming up in pretty soon.
I don't have the date in front of me, and I don't know the date, but it's.
We'll get the date for the next
I'd like
meeting.
to have it before April vacation.
5:23 and a half. So. Anything else?
Mr. Chairman?
Uh-oh, Ms. Byra's getting up there.
Uh-oh.
Gina Pires. I just want to thank you for listening to Jess and Madeline about the buses because I really feel like they're going to pave the way for the rest of the kids. I'm a junior class advisor and they start talking about senior week, freshman year. It's 25,000, it's 25,000. Now it's going to be 30,000 maybe. And these kids have high hopes for prom. They want it somewhere big. They want to go out with a bang and it's a lot of money. And I've also rode on that bus as a chaperone. These kids are not alone on that bus. And I would too like to know where this rule came from that they have to have that insurance.
We'll find that out, definitely.
Okay, thank you. And I'm proud of these two for getting up and speaking.
Hey, Ms. Byra's, so great job at the sophomore semi too. I heard it was stellar this year. Yeah, kids had fun, so thank you for chaperoning.
And thank you for the work at the schools you do.
We need more of me now.
Well said.
Anything else?
That's it.
Uh-oh, we got a Rogers.
Ava Rogers, 32 Pleasant Street. I wasn't
Foster
planning
Street.
on talking about anything, but I decided while I was here, I just wanted to emphasize the situation of like the teacher shortage and how it's affecting students. The biggest thing I've noticed is because we don't have enough teachers in classrooms, 50 kids are being stuck in the library on an online class that's really not useful, like whatsoever. I know I'm leaving next year, but it's more for like future of Saugus. Like we don't have a class that teaches kids about finances, options for after you graduate high school, stocks, credit, loans. We don't have like a home ec class that teaches kids how to cook. And I've been in these like online classes in the library and I can't tell you one thing I've learned from it because you watch a 40-minute video to answer 5 questions of common sense just to get a 100.
Is that the ingenuity?
Yeah.
So I think really, in with all you guys, what I'd love to see is you guys come back, right? When you're in college and stuff like that, you guys come back as you guys go out in the world and learn stuff and say, hey, my roommate did this in high school. And kind of share with us what we can do and how we can fix things.
Yeah.
I think, we can sit up here and say, hey, this would be great. This would be great. You guys are living it. Right? So the more
I was talking to Miss Lucier and we were talking about how like Saugus used to offer a bunch of language classes. Like there was Spanish, which we still have, Latin, French, Mandarin, and Italian. And those positions left and were never rehired. So that is why now the only 2 languages we offer is Spanish and Latin. Because people leave and they aren't rehired, so then we lose it. Along with the finance class that used to be taught. And then Miss Lucier teaches marketing as well. And she's taken on 35 kids in her classroom because it is one of the only electives that is offered for future purpose.
Yeah, Mike, that's something we should really look at.
Absolutely.
Andrew Whitcomb, Esquire.
Thank you. Andrew Whitcomb, 212 Essex Street, Apartment 102. As is tradition, I had no plans to speak tonight, but...
Never do.
Thank you, Mr. Superintendent. She touched on something that I can add a little context to. There's been a lot of talk at the state level, both in the Department of Higher Education, elementary and secondary education, and in the State House about establishing a finance curriculum. I don't know what the proper terminology would be for it, but some sort of pre-life skills kind of finance side in terms of filing taxes, filling out FAFSA, things like that.
We used to
into
refer
loans.
to that as personal finance.
That's
I mean, I don't know if that's what they're calling it
That's
now,
what
but
I'm. I can say confidently that there's a bill in the State House right now. I believe it's 4199 that would look to establish these guidelines, work them into curriculums. I don't know where that bill's in committee. The last I checked on it, but it's definitely a conversation worth having. As somebody who just finished an undergrad degree a couple of months ago, I'm still baffled they gave me one. You don't really have this kind of stuff.
We were all baffled, by the way.
You're not alone there.
They don't really prepare you for this kind of thing. You know, my favorite story is when I found out I needed to fill out FAFSA, my mother said, "Go for it." Like I was getting a gallon of milk on the way home. Well, fill it out.
Oh, no, it's not easy.
Right, and it's actually gotten a little simpler since then. You know, now you can incorporate your IRS forms right into it, but still, there's a lot of unknowns. I was afraid that if I entered a different number than my siblings, we'd get arrested. You know, like I said, there's nobody that really prepares you for this kind of thing, and as a first-generation student, kind of had to learn on our own. The university helped, and I was lucky to have friends that could assist me with it, but there are a lot of families, particularly socioeconomically disadvantaged families and first-generation students that just, they get lost in this kind of thing. That's it.
Yeah, hey, listen now, when I worked in Wellesley, they had a class, the guy, it was an awesome class, finance. They would run the student store, show them how to turn a profit and everything else. And then they'd always go for a field trip to the New York Stock Exchange. So it was pretty cool, you know?
You know, I covered some of this stuff when I was in school at the Voc, but that's only because I was in the business shop. You know, I don't know what a student at, say, Saugus High would do in this situation if they didn't know what FAFSA was.
Now, the Vogue takes you to Dunham shoes, right? Hey, I went to the Vogue too, so.
No comment. That's it. I also want to commend these three students for speaking earlier. I've come to a lot of these meetings. That might have been one of the most convincing presentations for buses that I have ever seen.
Absolutely.
Obviously, you know, nobody should have to foot a bill like that, and I hope you guys get to the bottom of it, but that was excellent. Very well done.
Thank you.
Thank you.
High praise from Whitcomb.
Okay.
I never do that.
But
Can you write down what you say as you say it?
Notice why you're doing it?
Susan McBride, 74 Chestnut Street. I graduated from Saugus High. My kids did too. Two of my kids took personal finance, and they loved it. I retired from Melrose High. I taught personal finance. It was a very popular class. I wanted to have it as a requirement. They said they couldn't do that because they'd have to hire another teacher. They still are teaching the class. It's very popular. You know, credit cards, banking, mortgages, rent, car payments, college, applying for colleges, researching, and student loans. We did all of that. And I thought it was very helpful. Most of the kids liked the class. The other thing that Andrew touched on, that bill has been there for so long because I've gone to so many workshops, and I'm not saying anything against you, but it's been there for so long, and they always say, oh, we want to add it to the social studies department. Well, they have their own curriculum. I was a business ed major, Salem State. We wanted to keep it in the business department. I went to so many conferences for that, but they always, they kept saying, oh, it's coming, but I hope you get it. What?
Yeah, what are you doing on August, Ms. McBride, what are you doing on August 26th? That's the first day of school next year. Yeah. All right, you know what, you have that day off, then come in the next day, all right? That'd be awesome to have that.
You get personal days.
Yes. No, come on.
Her knee was hurting. Motion to adjourn, if no other comment?
No.
Oh, she's got,
I should address her.
Second.
Yeah.
We are still looking.
Carrie, get up.
Come on, she's.
Okay,
oh, I thought she was kidding.
okay.
We are still looking, trust me, the SRO has not been off the table.
Yeah.
Just so you know.
Yeah. We have a motion?
I made a
to
motion.
adjourn? Anyone?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you guys for coming.